Hi friends, I'm so excited about this video today. I'm going to be going over 8 simple steps on how to start a garden from scratch. Whether you're a complete beginner or just looking to improve your green thumb, this video is for you. Before we jump into it, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any gardening tips and tricks. All right, let's get into it. So the success of your vegetable garden begins with choosing the right location. Here are a few things to consider. All plants need sunlight for photosynthesis, and vegetables tend to crave sunlight. So choose a spot in your garden or in your yard that gets at least 6 to 8 hours of sunlight per day. So good soil is the foundation to a thriving garden. So make sure that you choose a location in your yard that has really good, high quality soil. We'll come back to this point a little later in the video. Convenience matters. Ensure your garden is in close proximity to a water source. This makes regular watering a breeze and keeps your plants happy and hydrated. Next, let's talk accessibility. Pick a spot that's easy for you to reach. The more convenient, the more likely you'll spend time tending to your garden. Although gardening can save us money on our grocery bills, the initial cost of starting a garden from scratch can be quite high. Before spending any money, create a priority list for your garden. For example, if you'd like raised beds in your garden, you'll need to factor in the cost of buying materials for the raised beds and the cost of soil to fill them. If you have critters in your yard like deer and rabbits, you might also need to put a fence around your garden. These are just a few of the factors that you'll need to consider when making a budget for your garden. When starting a garden from scratch, one of the first things that you want to consider is whether you want to grow your veggies in a raised bed or in the ground. There are pros and cons to each, so consider your personal preference, your soil type, weed and pest pressures, and also budget. It's also important to measure your future garden space to get an idea of the size. The most common size for a garden bed is 8 by 4 feet, but you can make them whatever size you'd like. That being said, I suggest that you don't go any larger than 4 feet across for your garden beds, as it can make it difficult for you to reach any plants or vegetables that are in the middle. Sketching your garden can help you visualize the space. This can be done using a pencil and some graph paper, or there are several garden apps out there that you can also use to help visualize your space. Knowing your hardiness zone is essential for selecting plants that are well suited to your area. Many plants are labeled with these hardiness zones so that you can choose specific plants that will thrive wherever you are. This information helps gardeners choose plants that will survive the winter and also ensure that they thrive in their garden. To find your hardiness zone, simply Google hardiness zone of whatever city or town you're nearest to, and then you can use that hardiness zone to select plants for your garden. Choosing plants from your garden can be one of the most enjoyable aspects of gardening. Here are some important considerations. Choose plants that grow well where you live. You can use your hardiness zone to determine which plants are considered annuals or perennials in your area. And this will also help you determine whether plants just simply won't grow where you are. Choose plants that you and your family enjoy eating. There is no point in spending all the hours and time and effort growing tomatoes, for example, if you and your family do not like tomatoes. Consider the size of your garden and the size of the plants that you want to grow. For example, if you have a small garden, growing tomatoes is probably going to be more beneficial for you than growing squash because squash take up so much more space and you'll be able to grow more tomatoes in the space than you would squash. In terms of buying plants, you can decide to either buy plants directly from your local nursery or big box store, or you can choose to buy seeds and then start your own plants in your house or in your greenhouse before planting them out in the spring. One of the benefits of starting your own seeds is that you definitely get more variety in terms of the plants that you're able to grow. Big box stores and local nurseries tend to limit the variety of plants that they sell, and you're able to buy way more, I would say, cool veggies if you start them from seed yourself. Before planting, sketch out your garden layout. This helps you visualize the placement of each vegetable and helps you stay more organized and plant an aesthetically pleasing garden. You can use a pencil and paper to draw out your garden, but like I said earlier, there are also several garden apps that you can use to help visualize your space. One benefit of using garden apps is they can provide additional information on plant spacing. This gives you a better idea of how many plants you'll be able to fit in a specified space. Seed packages also usually have this information on them, so if you don't want to use an app, you can look at the back of your seed package for the suggested spacing of those plants. Now that your garden plan is finished, you'll need to prepare the area. If there is grass where you plan on putting your garden, you'll need to remove the grass. This can be done by smothering the grass, tilling it, or using a sod cutter to remove it. It's also important at this step to get your soil tested. You want to make sure to test your soil for drainage, texture, and nutrients. You can get your soil tested at a lab, but there are also at-home soil tests that you can buy at big box stores. Good soil is the foundation to a thriving garden, so this is a very important step. If your soil is deficient of any nutrients, this is a great time to add any amendments to your soil. You can add amendments such as compost, organic fertilizers, or just any other organic material to help improve your soil quality. One of the best things that you can do as a new gardener is keeping a record of your garden. Garden journals allow you to record the layout, planting dates, and any observations that you see throughout your garden season. You can also record how much harvest you get from each plant and whether you liked specific vegetables or not, which is really important if you're planning on gardening for several years. And there you have it, folks. Starting a vegetable garden is truly a rewarding journey, and I hope these 8 simple steps make it a breeze for you. Have a great week and year in the garden, and I will see you next time.